Let's talk more about how to accommodate women's buying preferences, and especially in the online experience, and why I believe social media is the best place to prospect or get to know women who have money to spend. It all has to do with how men and women think differently. Now, when I talk about this, these are generalizations. It's not to say all women think this way and all men think a certain way. But I will say this much. This really does have to do with biology. This has been substantiated. There are huge volumes of research on this topic, all because of the study of neuroscience. So this is not just speculation. This is based in fact. The brains are different. All right? And that's okay. It's all a very good thing. So let's think of it this way. Men work in a pyramid. That's the way they tend to think, is in pyramids. Women work in peer groups. All right? Men build pyramids, women build peer groups, and they behave differently as a result. Let me explain and make that very specific as it relates to buying. Well, in that pyramid structure, a man will feel more exposed for having to go and ask someone for help, for input, for data, because they work on a hierarchical plane. They feel more at risk because they're supposed to know all the answers. We all know, it's a pretty common joke, men refuse to ask for directions, right? They just won't do it. And I have to say, I come from a household of 3 boys and a husband, so I was pretty much outnumbered. And I always thought it was me being kind of a weirdo because I felt so comfortable asking for help. I didn't have girls to see that that was actually normal for women, you know, because they'd always be like, shh, don't ask for help, Mom. But it was just very natural for me. Well, I've since found out it's biology. Well, what does this mean for buying? Well, women, that's right, they want to get information as well, just like the men do, but it's how they get information that makes all the difference in the world. They get their information through people. See, men tend to think, again, this is a generalization, that people are a drain on their energy. A conversation? Really? No? But for a woman, people are a source for energy. All right? Drain on energy for the men, source of energy for the women. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Okay? I see it in Facebook. I'm primarily on Facebook, to be really honest, for observational purposes. And I see it. It's very clear. Not to say that there aren't men who like to engage and all this type of thing, but the women, they really shine in that department. And that's because they like to get their input via people. Here's why. The information becomes more meaningful to them. They're able to put it into context because, again, they work in a peer group. They work within a tribe. Here's the coolest part of it all. You may think, oh, social media, that's a lot of work. Well, you need to realize when you build that relationship with a female prospect consumer, there's an amazing thing that happens, and especially if you do a really good job in delivering the product and the service to the expectations and the details that the woman wants. Wondering what that is? Well, they bring their tribe with them. It's the girlfriend factor. And I can't tell you how powerful this is. I could rattle off a whole slew of stories right now when one of my girlfriends, a girl peer, recommends a product to me. I'll buy it almost instantly. That's not how men operate. They just want to go in and buy their product and they're done. They're just not as prone to make their decisions the way women do. So, the point being that social media is very much your friend, and it's the trend. It's where things are going to continue to move because that's where women like to congregate. So what I'd like to know from you are your thoughts on social media and as it relates to accommodating this new engagement that we didn't have previously on the internet. You pretty much just went into a website and it wasn't interactive. Now they're highly integrative with the blogs and then these social platforms like Twitter and Facebook. Let's go ahead and meet over in the discussion area, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.